G'day all you shed blokes out there, shed men. We here on top of Carrara Hill at Stockwell tonight, enjoying a bit of the great outdoors. We're not in a shed. All you blokes that have been cooped up for the last 2.5 years and haven't enjoyed any great outdoors, here we are. Also here with a lot of flying ants tonight after the bit of rain. We've decided that we had to make a call on having a live shed, and unfortunately, I guess even given the change of rules in the last week or so, we've decided our next live meeting is going to be the first Friday in April. So first Friday night in April, we'll send the message out. We'll meet live for the first time for 2022. We thought we'd come outside tonight, I guess, given all the issues that are going on around the world and even here in Australia, some of the people that are facing lots of difficult challenges at the minute. We're living in a pretty pristine piece of the country here in the Barossa Valley and enjoying a relatively relaxed lifestyle. I guess Wayne Rolack mightn't be, he's flat out into harvest, so he'd be the only one that's not relaxed. But our message tonight is from Pastor Rob, and Pastor Rob, he'd just like to make some comments around some of the difficult situations that are taking place, and a message, I guess, relevant to those situations. So I'll hand over to Pastor Rob, but we look forward to seeing all you guys the first Friday night in April. Thanks very much for tuning in tonight.
G'day guys, and g'day to the women who are going to watch this as well. I thought I'd start by telling you blokes to make sure you keep your wives in line. No, that was just to get the women excited. You've had your bit now. Today I wanted to really tell you a little bit about how I've been feeling in the last week. I don't know if you've ever heard of Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, but around about 60 years ago, a doctor and psychologist, she said there were the 5 stages of dying. And they were denial, anger, and I've forgotten the third one, which is bargaining. The fourth one, depression, and the fifth one is acceptance. But they've also made them the 5 stages of grief, and I believe that a lot of people, not just in Australia but around the world, are going through the stages of grief at this present time. Denial is simply saying it's not happening, but that's pretty hard up in Queensland and northern New South Wales, where the floods are just devastating so many communities. It's hard to deny the fact that Mount Etna's blowing up again. There are floods. There's been a mudslide in South America. There's been so much natural disasters going on. And of course, you can't forget about Russia invading Ukraine. And I must tell you that I'm at the second stage. I'm angry. I've done a bit of the third stage too, where I've tried to bargain with God, because I've never felt so completely helpless in my life as I have when I heard the news that Russia invaded Ukraine, a free country, and they've just gone ahead and done it. And Putin has said that if you interfere, I'll have my finger on the nuclear button. And the rest of the world is all upset, but simply throwing paper darts at Putin and not doing very much at all, except in an underhanded way, while thousands of Ukrainians, and millions of them, are fleeing and are likely to finish up under the rule of Russia. And there's not a thing you can do. And I've been talking to God about this and saying, God, where are you? Why aren't you doing something about this? And there have been people who've been saying the same thing in the floods. They're doing the same thing even during this time of COVID, when there's been many isolations, many rules, many inconveniences, many times when we just haven't felt like life is normal and we can just get on with life again. And anyway, in my bargaining with God, I have to tell you that I didn't win. That God just simply looked at me and said, God, I'm God and you're not. And I know what I'm doing and you don't. And I look over thousands and hundreds of thousands of years and you don't. And you're here for a speck of time and I'm here for all eternity. So you tell me who knows best. But from a human point of view, it's really, really tough. It's tough when we feel so helpless. I'm someone who likes good order, and I like things to be done well, and I don't like surprises. And yet here there's a situation like floods and earthquakes and Putin and war, and there's not a solitary thing we can do about it except pray. And even then, I don't like to use prayer as just a cliched religious thing that just simply says, well, at least we can pray, as though we can't do anything but we can do that. That there's more to it than that. Prayer is really asking God to help us to understand what's going on and to see things in the light of eternity. Now, the Apostle Paul wrote in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, and this is the Message version. So he says, so we're not giving up. How could we? Even though on the outside it often looks like things are falling apart on us, on the inside, where God is making new life, not a day goes by without his unfolding grace. These hard times are small potatoes compared to the coming good times, the lavish celebration prepared for us. There's far more here than meets the eye. The things we see now are here today, gone tomorrow. But the things we can't see now will last forever. And that's what we have to hang on to, guys. If we look to our own resources, or if we think that America can get us all out of trouble, or even if we thought there could possibly be a nuclear war, which would be devastating, the bottom line is that we can only control what we can control. And one thing we can control is where we look to for help. Here we are in the hills. The psalmist said, where does my help come from? And it comes from the Lord. As we suffer with the Ukrainians, as we suffer with the people of Queensland and New South Wales, as we suffer with people who are going through incredibly difficult times around the world with 100 minor wars taking place in different countries, I urge you to keep your eyes fixed on Jesus. To look anywhere else is absolutely useless. To get angry and try and bargain with God, I have to tell you, is absolutely useless, even if we do go through that as a stage. But finally, there's only one hope we've got, and one thing that God promises. He says, there is nothing and there is no one who can separate us from the love of Jesus. And that is an absolute guarantee. In these days, when your eyes are focused on so many other things, remember, keep your eyes on Jesus. See you guys.